Come down to just about halfway past the hook point, halfway through the gape.
We might have to start this again.
So after we've dressed the shank, the body of the fly is going to be a dubbing. I've got some grey rabbit hair here. Then we put a red hackle over the dubbing, and then we tie in our little deer hair wing on top. So it's a fairly simple fly in principle, but the deer hair is the tricky one. I've used cape over here, it's a lovely cape. It's got long, thin little hackles, which are great for this type of fly. Because it's such a small little dry fly, I need a very small hackle length, just sort of longer than the gape of the hook. So I'm going to pick one of those. Okay. Yeah. Just hold them by the tip and gently pull back like that, and you get all the little feather, what do you call them, filaments. That'll stand up like that, so it's now ready to be hackled. Then we turn them around, strip off the base. And then tie them in from the back. Like I said, I don't have the recipe for this fly, so I just had to come up with something that looks, the end product looks similar to what I was aiming for. So once we've tied in our hackle feather, we're going to do a little bit of dubbing. Just a little bit of grey rabbit fur. To the eye and then tie off. Alright, now your trusty hackle pliers, and don't break the feather. You can put the hackle quite tightly.
Is this a sedge feed?
What we were imitating there were caddises. The caddises were hatched. Yeah, same thing. But it was a very, very, very good imitation of what was actually on the water on the day, which is obviously why it worked so well, and it worked beautifully. The original LK Caddis was tied by a guy called L. Troth, and he tied it obviously with LK, but he did the front of the fly, he tied at an angle, so it had a big bunch of LK after being tied down. He trimmed it at an angle, and the idea was that as you strip it, it almost acted like a little bit of a diver, and it would make a little bit of a wave as you stripped it, which put a V out behind the fly as it went across the water. And that's exactly what the caddises do, and that's one of the triggers of why the trout go for it. Although this fly's got quite a big head, it doesn't get trimmed the same way. Alright, so we've got our dubbing body, and we've got our hackle. A definite sort of two-tone colour on the top there. And I'm trying to use the end bit of that. So take a good little bunch of it. Look at the deer hair as I've cut it there. It's very varied in length. So to try and get it to a more uniform level state, I'm going to stick it in the hair stacker upside down. You want to get your wing.
Or your stacker, please.
You can use my stacker.
Don't light it.
You want to get your wing coming just past the back of the gape of the hook. So that'll be a little bit too short, and it's sort of about there somewhere. Now with the deer hair, the hard part is getting it to behave while you're trying to tie it in. So you do a couple of loose pinches first. And then slowly tighten it. You can see it splays like that, which is the annoying part.
That Springer would work well for us.
Yeah. So you build up a little bit of a head on the front there, and then do a couple of loose turns. Over the back just to stop it from jumping up at you. I'm going to trim this off the front so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to tie them off now. Like I said, it's not the easiest of flies, and it turned out to be quite a bit more tricky than what I thought it was going to be. I think the secret is finding the right hair to use for the wing. I don't think deer hair is the right stuff. This one's turned out very fuzzy. Let's give him a good haircut. And then the way he's finished his off, he's just put a little bit of varnish on the head. Sally Hansen's would do the job. Just trim a little bit to open the gape up. And then it'll do. The head's not the prettiest, but it'll do.